unless my head is bent. You dig?
We fly, no lie. You know this.
Ballin'! What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome in. Welcome to the YouTube channel. This is Sleazeball FF. This is going to be my stardom, sit-em wide receivers for week 2. I'm going to give you the away team in the top box, the home team in the bottom box, a red bar, a yellow bar, and a green bar at the top. The green's obviously the must starts. The yellows are going to be iffy, and I'm going to break it down, start them or not at the time. Red will obviously be sit-em. And as always, guys, if you like the content, like and subscribe down below. Help your boy out. It's appreciated a ton. And if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, anything you want to drop down below, lineups, trades, rosters, anything you got going on, drop them in there. I'll try to answer it as fast as I can. And let's start balling, baby. Let's go. Starting off with game 1, we're going to talk about here is the 49ers at the LA Rams. So Brandon Ayuk finished wide receiver 2. He's probably going to be a must-start green all the way. I mean, Purdy looked like he was his go-to guy. For Deebo Samuel, I'm still going to give him a green in this game. I am a little worried about game script. I don't know, if the Rams are really going to stay in this one. They kind of surprised me week 1 with Seattle, but the Niners look so good at Pittsburgh last week. I don't see much of a chance here for the Rams. Heading down to the Rams. So Puka Nacua is still questionable. I do have him as like the only one in green for this matchup just because of the volume he saw last week of 15 targets, 119 yards. I know that Tutu had 119 also, but you have to look at it like this. Like if you look back at week 1, and I'm going to say that the Steelers wide receiver core is 5 times better than the Rams without Cooper Kupp. So, Deontay Johnson, Pickens, Pat Freiermuth, all of them got shut down. This Niner D is for real. I want nothing to do with, Puka is like a garbage time TD hope for me maybe this week if you're starting him. Tutu I have in the red. Van Jefferson I have in the red. Cooper Kupp I have in the yellow. I know he's on IR, till week 4, obviously. But it is time to start thinking about if you want to buy into the Cooper Kupp or not yet. Week 2, week 3, it's going to start to heat up with trades for him, especially if the Rams lose these next 2. It's time to buy now on him if it is. But if they lose like 3 in a row, then I start to get nervous about Kupp. So things to think about heading into that game. Moving on to my favorite game of the week. It is going to be the Ravens at the Bengals at home. This is going to be a bounce back game for the Bengals. I have Jamar Chase as my number 1 wide receiver this week. The Ravens secondary is beat to shit. T. Higgins will bounce back. If you're in your league right now, this is a buy now candidate, buy low candidate right now off 0 points. That's a blemish. I do that to the weather game due to the weather game last week. Tyler Boyd, though, I'm going to put in the red just because I feel like last week has the Bengals fired up. They're going to feed their 2 beasts the whole way. For the Ravens, Zay Flower, I'm going to put in the green. 10 targets. He looks like a yak monster. 2 reverse carries. He had another carry that was, a holding call, came back. He may be rookie of the year at the looks of it right now. He looks very good. And this game won't be game scripted like the Texans game where they were up and just pounded the run. I feel like this will be a high scoring game, division rivalry. You will see way more volume for Zay Flowers, and he still saw 10 targets versus the Texans, which is amazing already. I'm going to throw OBJ in the green. Now, I know he didn't have a good week 1. Like I said, it was game script. But like I said before, I feel like this game is going to be such high scoring that I feel like OBJ can produce as a flex play this week if you need it, especially if you're in a deeper league or whatever. I would throw OBJ. If you play like 2 flexes or 3 flexes, I feel like he can produce this week with the amount of volume that will happen in this game. I put Rashad Bateman in yellow. His snap count was very low week 1. I don't know if it was due to injury or whatever. Like I was seeing tons of tweets from people saying, Rashad Bateman's going to show you why he's the wide receiver 1. He was on my do not draft list the whole time. So I don't know. It's a wait and see on Rashad Bateman. But for now, I'm going to keep him in yellow just because I think this game is going to be so high scoring. Heading into the next game, it is going to be the Bears at the Bucs. And this is my number 1. I'd like to do these crazy calls. I have Justin Fields as the highest scorer of the week. I know he had a bad week 1. DJ Moore, this is his game right here. If the Bears don't pop off in this game, I'm going to be really nervous about Justin Fields and DJ Moore and what goes on here. Like, this is their Tampa's number 9 versus the pass. They just got shredded last week in a close game with the Vikings. They got the win, which is crazy huge, but I'm going to put DJ Moore full green, full go. I'm going to say 100+ yards in a TD for DJ. Darnell Mooney also had a nice game last week. It was a garbage time TD, so he could be serviceable. He's not like a start in a 12-man, but if a deeper league, I can see him going maybe DFS play if you're trying to play a cheap wide receiver down below in the roster. That might work. Chase Claypool is getting red. I mean, this guy supposedly was learning the playbook over time and going to be better. He dropped everything. It was a horrible showing, and Chase Claypool should be on all your waiver wires. For the Bucs, most impressive was Mike Evans and how much Baker Mayfield targeted him. It was literally, I don't know if I'm going to say he's a sell now. I kind of think he is. I don't think he's going to, see 66 yards and a touchdown every game with Baker Mayfield, but he looked good to start. Chris Godwin, I also have in the green this game because the Bears defense is abysmal. And Chris Godwin didn't see the work I thought he would see week 1, but I feel like this is the Chris Godwin game right here. They're going to feed him more. And Trey Palmer, I have in the red, but he is someone to think about, especially if you have Dynasty with Mike Evans' contract and you don't know, is he going to stay in Tampa? And I'm not really sure. He's getting older. Trey Palmer got a touchdown week 1, looked good for a rookie. Not a start yet for me, but he is someone to keep your eye out on the waiver wire, and especially in Dynasty, if you have a taxi spot, Trey Palmer should be in there. Heading on to the next game. It is going to be the Raiders at the Bills. This game last week was super impressive to me. I mean, Jacoby Myers was lights out, and he got hit, and he got his lights knocked out also, so we don't know if he's coming back this week. But Devontae Adams, I feel like drew that coverage for him that helped him a lot. Devontae, I was down on, but man, he looks like a must start. I feel like Devontae's still going to be Devontae no matter what. I was wrong about that. Jacoby Myers is going to be a must start if he plays. Hunter Renfrow, it might be time for the Raiders to start looking at a trade or something for this one. I don't know what's going on with Hunter Renfrow. He's a sit. Heading out of the Bills, Stephon Diggs, obviously green every week, balled out, especially when you do it against the Jets defense like last week against Sauce Gardner. You got an automatic start. The nervous one is Gabe Davis. I mean, I bought into the preseason hype again, just like last year. Like, Gabe Davis is going to do it. He's so inconsistent. It's ridiculous. So, I mean, he is a nice best ball DFS buy for his boomer bust ability, and they're playing the Raiders. This should be the game where the Bills bounce back. They get the dub. Everyone gets back on track. Josh Allen gets back on track. The owners feel better. But Gabe Davis, man, I don't know if you try and trade him with no value or you have to hold him, but you didn't pay that much of a price in the draft as you did last year. You got him about the 8th or 9th round. Last year was like the 5th, and he doesn't do it. So, I mean, I'm going to leave Gabe in yellow. Deontay Hardy actually got more playing time than I thought. I thought it would be Shakir. Deontay Hardy was getting reverses. They were screening it to him, bubble screen. I was like, that's kind of impressive for him. I didn't know he'd be playing that much. He's still in the red. Khalil Shakir, obviously still in the red. Heading on to my favorite game of the week. I'm going to say this is the highest score, second highest scoring. I'm going to go Ravens Bengals for some reason, but this is my second highest scoring game of the week. And this is going to be my first crazy call of the stardom situms right here. So for the Chiefs at the top, you see that I have Kadarius Toney in green, Mr. Butterfingers himself, who lost the game for them week 1 against the Lions. This is that weird feeling I have right here that Kadarius Toney pops off this game for some reason. If he is on your wire and someone dropped him, he's still got the looks. He's not benched or nothing. The coaching staff, they're probably pissed for the loss for sure. But he's a nice ad, and I feel like this is that game where Kadarius Toney's going to bounce back and everyone's going to be back on his good side. But the rest of the receivers, man, MVS was okay. Sky Moore. Sky Moore, I thought would have been a nice flex play last week. Now I think he's on most wires. So pretty much it is a crazy call with Kadarius Toney. It could be all red here from last week. I mean, I can't argue that if you wanted to say that. I just have this weird feeling that Kadarius Toney is going to pop off versus the Jags this week. Heading over to Jacksonville, Duval County, Calvin Ridley. Guys, if you didn't listen to my tweets or TikToks or YouTube videos, whatever it was, I kept telling you that Calvin Ridley is going to be a top 5 wide receiver, and you literally saw it on display last week. Now he gets the Chiefs. I mean, this is like a 20-point smasher probably for Calvin Ridley at this point. This should be a high-scoring game. But I like all three of these guys. I like the volume that they will see this game. I mean, Christian Kirk didn't play that good week 1. He should see volume this game out the slot. Zay Jones actually played better than I thought last week. I mean, this is like 8 to 10 targets between these three that you'll see spread out through the year. And you have Evan Ingram getting like 6-7 targets. This is a high-flying offense. I'm going to go all green right here with the Jags this week. Heading into our next game. Now, this is the very interesting game to me. I need to break this down in a different way here. So the Titans defense is always known for their run stopping, and they're not great at stopping the pass. Mike Williams concussions, looks like he's going to play. This is Keenan Allen time right here. DFS, whatever you want. I put him at wide receiver 7 this week. I probably should have put him top 5. I feel like he's going to absolutely feast. Joshua Palmer got a touchdown last week. I'll leave him in the yellow just because this game has such passing potential for the Chargers. I wouldn't start him in like 10-man or 12-man. That's like a deep dart throw. Quentin Johnson didn't get the work I thought he would. So he's a hold because the injury history of Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. And if they go down, then all of a sudden, QJ becomes the guy. But right now, he's a red for me. DeAndre Hopkins. We do not know if he's going to play. If he does, the Chargers defense is so bad. I mean, and now they have Bosa out. It looks like it's going to be either all Henry or you're going to see D-Hop if he's out, and you're going to see Treylon Burks. This is why I put Treylon Burks in the green. I do not like Treylon Burks this year. Once they signed D-Hop, it really hurt his value. But if D-Hop sits, Treylon Burks is a start for me, which is crazy to say, but he will be a start because the Charger D is lost and they should be playing from behind. They should see more volume. And Nick Westbrook Akine last week even saw play with D-Hop. So, I mean, if you take D-Hop away from this and you're in a deep league, Westbrook Akine could be a nice dart throw, or, if you're playing cheap DFS. That's why I didn't put him in the red, because he saw more work than I thought he would. Maybe a decent dart throw late play right there. Heading into the next game, it is going to be the Jets versus We Dem Boys in Jerry's World. This is ugly, guys. Man, I was so high on Garrett Wilson coming into this season. I wanted to see him and A-Rod absolutely fly. I thought he would get 1,500 and 10-plus TDs. And Aaron Rodgers was gone in 60 seconds. So, I mean, Garrett Wilson's going to get digs. This defense looked ferocious. Zach Wilson, I've seen enough of this guy. I don't know what Robert Saleh is doing saying Zach Wilson's our guy. It's going to be rough. This is going to be a brutal game for the Jets. I'm sit all of them. Breece Hall, everybody. When I get to my running back video later, I'll talk about that. But Garrett Wilson's going to draw digs. Lazard, Cobb, they're going to get eaten alive. Their offensive line is shambles. I mean, the Cowboys are going to feast. The Cowboys, actually, if you're like 0-1, then you're in that panic mode of fantasy. The Cowboys defense is an asset. If you look at their roster coming ahead, they may be like a 15 to 20 point defense weekly with what's happening ahead. They get the Cardinals next week. I mean, and they get Zach Wilson this week. Something to think about. Heading down to the Cowboys, C.D. Lamb. This is his time. This is his game. This has his name written all over it, bro. I'm telling you. I don't care about Sauce because CD will line up in the slot, and Sauce doesn't really shadow the slot as much as people think. Brandon Cooks with a sprained MCL. The update was today that he's a game-time decision. He's more of a vet on the older side, so I think if you're playing Zach Wilson, I don't think they're going to, use Brandon Cooks. But if he's out there, I'll put him in yellow, which is also why I kept Michael Gallup in yellow. Because if Brandon Cooks is out, Michael Gallup is a flex serviceable player, especially in deeper leagues for sure. I mean, he actually looked better off the injury. He's only a year healthier, but you just didn't get to see the Cowboys offense because they got ahead by 40 points and that game was over before it started. So you really never got to see the full Cowboys throttle. And this is going to be the CD Lamb game, I'm telling you. Heading to the next game of the week, it is going to be the Falcons at the Packers. I don't know what to say about Drake London. I put him on my must-start wide receiver list last week, and he gave me a 0, man. I still don't think you sell here. I mean, he's so talented. He's just in the wrong system. I mean, Mac Hollins saw more targets and more yards, and Drake London wasn't even looked at. It was very, very concerning as a fantasy manager owner if you own Drake London. He's definitely going to be in the red till anything changes. I mean, I don't think the Falcons are even going to pass. I mean, right now would be the time to sell Kyle Pitts, too, if you could, if you wasted a high-value pick on him. I mean, it looks like it's going to be 20 touches Bijan, or 20 touches Bijan, 20 touches Algier, 20-15, 35 carries. They won't care if they're down. They won't care about anything. They're going to pound this game out. And their offensive line is amazing. So, that's the plus side. But I don't understand why their offensive line is so good that they can't pass protect and get the ball out. It drives me crazy. Heading to the Packers, I was very, very, very impressed with the Packers' first showing of Jordan Love. Romeo Doubs, listen to me now. And I didn't know if I wanted to buy into the camp talk or not. They said that Romeo Doubs is going to lead the Packers in receiving and targets, but Christian Watson will lead them in touchdowns. So Christian Watson's already dealing with the hammy, which is, he's so explosive that I could see that happening more than not down his career path. He's very young, but he's a stud, 100%. If Christian Watson's out there every game, he's going to be in green because I like him so much. But Romeo Doubs is a buy now player. Because say he was the 13th, 14th, 12th round pick or whatever, just drops a 20 bomb, and he was playing limited snaps last week. Now, healthier off the hamstring, Romeo Doubs is a must-buy player and possibly a wide receiver 2 or 3, low end wide receiver 2, high end wide receiver 3 with upside. He can win the one-on-ones. He looks bigger. I mean, he looked way better than last year. I'm so high on Romeo Doubs. Go get him now. Jaden Reed, rookie, decent performance week 1. They kind of got ahead and the game script got away. They used a little more run. I'm going to leave him in red for now just because if Christian Watson is out, I will say that Jaden Reed could be yellow, but I'm still not that high on playing him low yellowish, the bottom. But give me Dobbs all day. Heading into the rookie versus rookie battle. This is going to be Anthony Richardson versus CJ Stroud. This game is where you want Michael Pittman and Nico Collins, right? Because their game scripts last week, so the Texans got the Ravens. That's a horrible matchup to throw CJ Stroud into. Anthony Richardson drew the Jags. They actually played decent. I thought the Jags would blow them out. That was kind of interesting. And in the first half with the Colts game, I bought into Michael Pittman, right, in my big league. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to sell this guy already. 1 target, 0 points in the first half. And then boom, 10 targets, touchdown, Michael Pittman, 20 points. Ended up, I think, wide receiver 9 or 8. Let me pull it up, 9. So, dude, and Anthony Richardson's just going to get better. He looks like one of the best steals of your fantasy draft right now. The problem is once a guy drops 20 points, you can't go trade for him, right? I mean, that owner's not going to let him go no matter what. So, Josh Downs did see more work than I thought. Alex Pierce did see more work than I thought. I'm going to keep them both in red for now because I feel like it's the Michael Pittman show. The Texans were very interesting. So like I was saying before, and CJ Stroud looked good for being thrown at Baltimore week 1. I mean, he looked actually decent. Robert Woods, I'll go Nico Collins first. Nico Collins was a guy I was high on in every single draft, every best ball, every DFS. He looks actually like the number 1 target out there, but he started to draw more coverage during the second half, and you saw the Robert Woods show. And I mean, Robert Woods saw 48% target share, which was number 2 in the NFL behind Zay Flowers, who saw 48.5. That is insane to me. He didn't get that many fantasy points. I think he had 6 points or something. What did he have? He had 6 catches, 57 yards, 9.5 points. Robert Woods is serviceable. He looks like serviceable flex play, especially in deep leagues. If you're, 16-man, 14-man, super flex, your quarterback got hurt, whatever it is. This guy can get you a floor of 6 to 7 points with a possible touchdown upside. I was really impressed by Robert Woods showing. Tank Dell, decent performance, not what I thought. This guy was writing names down in the locker room. People drafted before him, and he's going to pop off. That wasn't the case. I'm going to leave Tank in red. I threw John Mechie on there. If you don't know who he is, this is a player to pay attention to on your waiver wire at the moment. A superstar in college, got hurt, just getting healthy, got hurt in camp again. That's the problem with him is injuries. You know, it's like a DeAndre Swift thing, right? Who looked great last night, but how long is he going to last with his injuries? John Mechie gets healthy. He gets on the field. Watch out for this guy. That's the only reason I put his name on there right now. Heading into the next game, it is going to be the Steelers and the Browns on Monday night. So, George Pickens, I said I think he was like my number 2 sit-em last week versus the Niners. That game, I mean, week 1 of the NFL, I'm not even going to look at the stats to count that. George Pickens is still really good. He's the guy. The Niner D is just so elite that he was locked out. Now he's going to get the Cleveland Browns. And if you saw my video before, I was talking with my boy over the wide receivers, rankings. The Cleveland Browns play man coverage more than any defense, and that is where George Pickens is going to eat. This is like a must start play with George Pickens for me this week. I have Allen Robinson in the yellow because Deontay Johnson is out. It looks like that hamstring is going to keep him out like 2 to 3 weeks. I don't know. Their updates keep changing. They said it's day to day, and then now it's week to week. I'm not buying that he's playing this week at all. Allen Robinson still saw 8 targets last week. You know why? Because they put him back in the slot where he belongs. His last 2 years, Chicago, you just didn't know what they were doing. He is a slot receiver. He's just a bigger body slot guy like CeeDee Lamb. I think Allen Robinson may actually be a decentable play this week. Not in like a 10 to 12 man, like I said with a couple, players before, but he's a serviceable deep league throw or like a DFS dart throw. Decent enough. And Deontay Johnson's out, so he's in the red. Amari Cooper. I mean, I was all about Amari Cooper, and then they get a rain, mud, terrible game 1. They got the win. That's great. Congratulations to the Browns fans. I mean, this is his time right here. If you look at Amari Cooper stats from the Raiders to the Cowboys to whatever it is, he is the Monday night prime time, Thursday night prime time player. I saw a tweet that he averages like 18.5 points per game in prime time games. This is the Amari Cooper smash game right here. Just like I said with CeeDee Lamb, smash, smash, smash. He's going to eat. Elijah Moore, I'm going to keep in the yellow for now. Like I said before, just the game was so bad in the, game 1 in the rain versus the Bengals. I mean, Chase had nothing. Higgins had nothing. Everyone had nothing, literally, except like Chubb. So, I mean, that's a blemish game. Elijah Moore still serviceable. It was a high draft capital used on him, so you're not dropping him, obviously, or nothing. But if you're hurt in a 12-man, I would say he'd be a decent flex play this week. DPJ. So much talent. Once again, the game was terrible, but I need to see week 2 before I even think about taking him out of the red after that performance. Heading into the next game, it is going to be the Commanders at the Denver Broncos. I don't know why I did this with the Commanders. So week 1, I had Terry McLaurin. I think he was my sit-up number 3 behind Pickens. Nailed that one too. Turf toe affects players all year long. If you know anything about the NFL, you've seen injuries. I'm going to go green here, even though they're going against Pat Surtain and the Denver defense. And here's why. Jacoby Myers and Devontae Adams just ate them alive with Jimmy G. If Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson can't wake up against the Broncos, even Sam Howell, I'd put Sam Howell and Jimmy G probably in the same category of quarterback right now. Sam Howell has a way bigger arm for a deep bomb. That's for damn sure. I mean, this is their time, or else it's time to start panicking and hit that sell button real quick here because the defense just got absolutely shredded. This is the time they got the win. They got Chase Young back too this week, which is going to be very nice. This is their time to shine. If it's not, it's time to get worried about them. Curtis Samuel is to me like those, other players I was talking about before. Very nice showing. A lot of touches. I don't know the exact number. I don't want to pull it up. He even had reverses. I watched the game a little bit. I think he had like 8 points. He's always that, floor player of 6-7 points. He gets running work too. I mean, he could be a DFS dart throw 16, deep man league player again. I'm going to keep him in yellow for now. Head to the Broncos. My guy is back. The update just hit that Jerry Jeudy is playing this week 100%. I'm not liking a full send him out there off an injury. He's going to pop off game. But every time this guy's on the field, he's a must play green no matter what. I've been such a Jerry Jeudy fan since the beginning. He's got to stop getting hurt, man. Like the end of the season last year, weeks 14 to 18, he was wide receiver 1 overall over Jefferson, over Chase, over everyone, over Kupp, all of them. So, I mean, get him on the field. He's always green. Cortland Sutton, now that Jerry Jeudy is back, I'm going to move to the yellow. He did look better than I thought last week versus the Raiders. Got that touchdown in the end zone. I'll leave him yellow for now. Marvin Mims, another guy I was like, we need a dynasty stash this guy. He's going to get a lot of playing time with Jeudy out. I didn't even see the field, man. Marvin Mims, red, till anything changes with him. Heading into the Patriots versus the Dolphins game, my number one top scorer call of the week, I only pick one a week, was Tyreek Hill. We're 1 for 1, baby. These guys are always going to be green as long as Tua's healthy. I mean, I'm not even going to put another receiver on here like Braxton Berrios or any of that. This is the Waddle Hill show all the way. I do feel like this week that Jalen Waddle is going to outscore Tyreek Hill. I do think that Belichick takes away the best player. Jalen Waddle, somehow this is going to be the Waddle game for some reason. But these guys are automatic green must-starts every week. It's, Tua is my dark horse MVP also, by the way. Heading to the Patriots, very, very, very impressive. And so after watching last night's Thursday night game, I was thinking that, that game with the Patriots Eagles, maybe it was just a fluke. The Eagles defense didn't show up. No, Eagles defense is just beat up and not good right now. So if Kendrick Bourne can go off for 23 and be the 13th overall fantasy scorer, he had 11 targets. He had 98% participation of routes. On 60 dropbacks, he ran right on 55 of them. He should have been your must-go-to target wide receiver on the wire instead of Puka Nacua. This is why you listen to Sleaze. Green all the way this week, playing the Dolphins. He may even be, you could even slide him in. I'm so confident to slide him into wide receiver 2. And like the projections have him at 5 points. That's blasphemy. He should be at least a 9 to 8 point projection player on a roster like Yahoo or ESPN or whatever. I like Kendrick Bourne a ton this week. DFS, everything. Get him in your lineups. Juju, it is a great matchup for Juju. It really is. But he looks hurt. He looks slow. He looks sluggish. He's still that possession slot guy. He could still get you a floor of 6 to 7 points. I don't really see him getting much red zone work. I mean, he can't even get off the line. He looks just bigger, or I don't know, slower, out of shape, or just hurt. I'm such a Juju fan. I feel bad. I want him to be 100% healthy, and then I'll put Juju where he needs to be. But for right now, I'm going to leave him yellow. Devontae Parker, still questionable. I haven't seen the update. If he plays, this is a great DFS shot because he gets deep balls, and the Miami defense is going to give up a lot of points this game. I feel like the Patriots will be, well, I don't know about a lot of points, but the Patriots will be behind. The passing volume should be there. Mac Jones' confidence was 100% back from 2022. He looked way more in command, way better in the pocket. I was very surprised by their offense. I'm not going to lie. I didn't think the Patriots would hang with the Eagles or make it close, and especially when they gave a pick 6 away on like the first or second play of the game. I was like, here we go. They bounced back. They showed heart. They showed that they're still the Patriots. They're still coached well. I like what I'm seeing from the Patriots a lot. Heading into the Saints versus the Panthers game. So Chris Olave, I mean, if Derek Carr would have figured out that Chris Olave was the superstar in the first half, he would have had like 220. He looked unbelievable, unguardable. He's going to be green every single week, no matter what. There's not much to talk about. He's a superstar. Number 2 was very impressive early. So this is kind of what I'm talking about with the Chris Olave in the first half. The first half was all Michael Thomas. Like you saw him on every drive. Boom, target, boom, target, boom, target. Michael Thomas making catches. I was like, oh God, is Michael Thomas really going to take this job? He's going to be the number 1 from Olave. No, that all changed in the second half. But Thomas did look good in the first half. He had 5 for 61. And then Olave just exploded for like 120 or 115. I forget what he had. 112. 112 in a teeter. Yeah, Olave went nuts. And if he would have got any targets in the first half, like I said, he would have had like 30-point game. Now, the guy to look at on your waiver wires right here is Rashid Shaheed. This guy is the real deal. The weapons they have is actually phenomenal. Derek Carr shouldn't be on your wire either. I know it was kind of a slow start week. They didn't score a lot of touchdowns. It was a field goal game pretty much. But you know Michael Thomas's injury history. If something happens to Michael Thomas, Rashid Shaheed becomes a must-start matchup-proof flex wide receiver if Michael Thomas gets hurt. That's why I have him in the yellow for now. I'm not wishing injury on Michael Thomas or nothing. I actually like Michael Thomas a lot. But Rashid Shaheed looks damn good, man. Heading down to the Panthers. Man. DJ Shark is supposed to be playing this week. Adam Thielen and Mingo. Okay. They were down to the Falcons 2 scores the whole game, and they were feeding Miles Sanders the whole time. I don't know if they're like afraid to let Bryce Young, unleash or, whatever it is, but you're going to lose every game. You keep doing that. You're going to end up like the Falcons last year if you just keep pounding the run. But, I mean, all these wide receivers, I'm going to throw yellow just because I think the volume will be there for, DJ Shark and Thielen. Mingo's definitely going to be red. I mean, they have to open up the playbook at all for me to even put any one of these guys greens. It looked really, really sluggish for the Panthers. I'm going to keep the yellow, red. Here we go. So for my last game here, when it comes out of my last game, I like to throw my crazy call at the very end. I do this for each position. So I'll do a wide receiver crazy sit-em where it's a top dog. I'll do a running back crazy sit-em where it's a top dog, and a tight end sit-em where it's a top dog in my coming videos that are coming as I try and get them done through the week. So this game is going to be the Seahawks versus the Lions. And I flipped it. The Lions are at home. I messed up on this one. But my crazy call of the week is going to be to sit DK Metcalf. There is literally no information that I can tell you as to why. I just feel like that Tyler Lockett was not targeted at all last game. Jay season with nothing. I feel like it's going to be that Metcalf dud game. And all the information points to it not being. Right? So this is why I do this crazy call thing. Last year, this game was 48-45 versus these teams. So the points were flying. Everything goes against what I'm saying. All of it. All the stats, everything. I just have this gut feeling, sit DK Metcalf this week with no information as to why. It's just my crazy wide receiver call of the week. I like to take, like I said, one of the big dogs and just shoot it out there. For the Lions, Amon-Ra St. Brown should have had 33 points plus. Jared Goff missed him on a wide open 80-yard streak straight ahead. It was the first game of the season. You're at Arrowhead. You're at the Super Bowl champs. They got the win. They got the job done. Don't panic. Jared Goff's going to be fine. Amon-Ra is going to be a god. He was my favorite target in every draft was to go get Amon-Ra. Always green every week, the sun god. In yellow was pretty impressive. Josh Reynolds led the Lions in receiving in week 1. My bold prediction, which, again, I do these weird, crazy calls. I said that Josh Reynolds would get a 40-yard touchdown. That was a bold prediction last week. Missed that by like a shoestring tackle. But Josh Reynolds looks good. He looks, dude, I mean, he's going to see volume in this high passing offense until Jameson Williams gets back, which is why Jameson Williams is in red. So, Josh Reynolds, deep league play, DFS play, nice target. I don't know if I'd start him in a 12 or 10 man, but he's got value. He's got value at the moment. Again, Jameson Williams is like the Cooper Kupp. I put him on here just so you can be aware that his suspension is 5 games away. Man, when he gets back, it's going to be bombs away, bro. I'm telling you. Jameson Williams, go. I don't know about get him yet. I'd say you'd stay like 2 weeks away. You want to play rosters for injuries of running backs or handcuffs till then. But Jameson Williams, something to keep on your mind to think about. That is it, guys. That is my first ever stardom sit-em wide receiver for week 2. I have to do 4 more hours of work to set up the running backs and the tight ends. It's taken forever. If you guys want to like and subscribe, it helps your boy out a ton. I'm trying to bring you the best fantasy football content I can possibly to win your leagues. All the support is appreciated, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and I will catch you in the next one, man.